Testing. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you today to the beautiful city of Bell Gardens. My name is Marco Bárcena. I am the mayor for the city. And I want to also welcome Mr. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, together with his wonderful staff. We're very, very happy to have you here today. The reason why we're here today is to really celebrate the support that the governor has been giving us together with the state, more specifically the Fair Housing Foundation and the assistance to our renters here in the city of Bell Gardens. We have been providing rental assistance, and that is an effort that has really gone a long way in the city of Bell Gardens. We're helping our community stay housed, basically, during this pandemic and the hardships that we've been experiencing. So we're very, very proud of the efforts. We're very happy with the results. We have processed thousands of applications in the Southeast, not to mention the city of Bell Gardens itself, which is about 78% renters. You know, we have one of the highest, the most highly populated, densely populated cities in the Southeast, in California, and in the entire country. So this is greatly needed in our community, and thanks to the support not only of the governor and the state of California, but also our recreation and community services staff, we've been able to deliver these services directly to our community. I want to also say that when several of our neighborhood cities shuttered the doors, our department was able to step up and really take a hold of the situation and make sure that our community stayed housed. Having said that, we would like to again welcome everyone here today, and I like to invite to the podium the Secretary of Business, Consumer Services, and Housing, Lourdes Castro Ramirez. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Mayor, for having us in your city. Also, special thanks to Roseanne, the director of this recreation center. Just about 2 months ago, I had the opportunity to be here with Director Velasquez, who runs the state's Housing and Community Development Department. And we were here to really learn about how the city of Bell Gardens, along with a number of community-based organizations, are coming together and really transforming these centers to be centers of resource for those communities hardest impacted by the pandemic. And more specifically, we have a partnership with the city of Bell Gardens to increase participation in the state's rental assistance program. And so today, I'm of course very delighted to be back in the city of Bell Gardens with Governor Newsom to share with you the progress that we are making in terms of increasing the number of families that are being served, but also in terms of increasing the dollars that are going out. And this is largely due to the signing of a new law that Governor Newsom signed just about 2 weeks ago. Since the signing of AB 832, we have seen a dramatic increase in the number of families that are applying for the state's rental assistance program. We have also seen the doubling of the total rental assistance that is going out. And this is really a tremendous, demonstration of the partnership with communities like the city of Bell Gardens, but also the passage of this new law that the governor signed. So I also recognize, as the mayor mentioned, that these communities have been deeply impacted by the pandemic, and communities like the city of Bell Gardens also require that we do everything possible to bring resources and information that is culturally relevant and in their language. And so with that, I'd like to just share a few remarks in Spanish. Primeramente, gracias, alcalde Bárcena, y gracias a Roseanne por organizar este evento. Hace poco más de un mes estuve aquí en la ciudad de Bell Gardens con miembros de nuestra red de socios locales y escuchamos acerca de la necesidad de mejorar el acceso al programa Ayuda con la Renta para inquilinos y propietarios. Y hoy tengo el gusto de regresar a esta comunidad con el gobernador Newsom para informarles el progreso que hemos hecho con este programa. Gracias al gobernador Newsom y a la legislatura estatal, contamos con una nueva ley que va a ayudar a expandir el programa de ayuda con la renta. Dos puntos muy importantes de esta nueva ley es que cubre el 100% de la renta y de los servicios públicos atrasados y futuros, y que extiende el periodo de protección contra el desalojo hasta el 30 de septiembre. Este es un gran paso hacia la recuperación económica equitativa de nuestro estado. La misión de este esfuerzo es de borrar la deuda de la renta a corto plazo y de brindar apoyo continuo para proteger a inquilinos y propietarios. Desde que el gobernador firmó esta nueva ley de asistencia con la renta, hemos visto más personas aplicar para el programa, hemos visto más dinero llegar a los hogares para prevenir el desalojo, hemos visto más participación de las comunidades más afectadas por la pandemia y como sabemos, la comunidad latina sufrió bastante durante esta pandemia. Y por eso es muy importante que este programa llegue a estas comunidades. Pero aún queda mucho trabajo, ¿verdad? Aún tenemos mucho que hacer. Tenemos hasta el 30 de septiembre para poder aprovechar de los beneficios de este programa. Entonces, hoy es el momento, el gobernador y yo pedimos que soliciten ayuda para este programa. El proceso y la solicitud ha sido simplificada y tenemos más recursos disponibles para ayudar con el proceso. Para terminar, quiero recalcar un punto muy importante. Este programa está disponible a todos los californianos residentes de California, incluyendo a personas que tienen estado migratorio o que están trabajando con sus documentos. Entonces, este programa es para todos. Y ahora, para mí es un gran honor presentar al gobernador que ha luchado incansablemente para garantizar que California regrese aún mucho más fuerte y que ha luchado para brindar ayuda a las comunidades más afectadas por esta pandemia. Por favor, démosle una gran bienvenida al gobernador Newsom.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. And before I speak, this is the proverbial audible, and I'm really grateful to community members that have become beneficiaries of this program. And we were having a little private conversation, though reasonably public with all of you looking on, but you're wondering probably what we actually were saying and talking. So I asked them if they would be willing just to talk a little bit about their stories and about this program and its impact, and they graciously agreed. And so thank you both, and I don't mean to, no pressure, and you don't have to share too much of your story. I know, yeah, but you know, I know you do this all the time, and so if you'd like, maybe just come up and tell us a little bit about your story and why you're here. And I'm doing it selfishly because I told them both that there's not much we can say that they can't say better and more powerfully about the impact of this program, because there's still a lot of people that don't know about it or don't even believe it when they do learn about it.
Yes, that's true. Good morning. My name is Jennifer Estrella. And on June the 30th, I went to apply, and it works, and it's real. They paid for my bills. They paid 2 months' rent I was behind, plus they're paying till September. People don't believe it, but it does work. It is true. It's not like you're going to keep the money because they pay it to the landlord. So it goes directly to him, so nobody could be thinking, oh, they're going to just steal money or anything like that. And I'm one of the ones that is proved that the Housing Foundation does work, and there is money out there to get help, and we get to sleep better at night. Thank you.
My name is Carmen Nares. I'm from Southgate. I applied last week at Huntington Park for the fair housing, and they've helped me. I didn't believe it either. I didn't think it was true. It's true. You guys have to apply. They're going to help you. Don't not do it. We all have to do this because it's true. We're going to need the help. So go out there and apply, guys.
And forgive me, but you had rent
Yes,
back
I've
January.
actually didn't pay my rent since January, so I'm getting a lot of help with my rent and with all my bills. I'm just so thankful for everything that they're doing for me.
No, that's
Yes,
wonderful.
thank
for
you.
sharing.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So, thank you both. Look, as I said, it's one thing to intellectualize this, one thing to talk about this program in the aggregate, but behind each and every person that's filling out an application behind me is a real story of people impacted by this pandemic over the last 15 months. This has been an incredibly challenging 15 months, and we're not out of the woods. COVID's not taking the summer off. It's not behind us. You're seeing what's happening all around the world, and now increasingly all across the United States, and even here in Southern California and other parts of our state. We still have a lot of work to do. So the impacts are still being felt, and they're very real. And that's why we put a program up, which is the largest now in the nation, $5.2 billion to pay 100% of your back rent to April of last year, and to pay 100% of your rent through September 30th of this year if you've been impacted directly by COVID-19. This is available to all eligible individuals and families, households that earn anywhere from 50 to 80% of federal poverty. Family of 4 in LA County, around $95,000 a year, eligible for this program. 100% of your back rent taken care of, and a program which adds an additional $2 billion on top of the 5.2, an additional $2 billion that provides support to pay off your utilities, to pay your water bill, your electric bill, and as you noted, your internet bill as well. She said, don't forget about the internet. Now, that said, only 41% of people in this community have access to the internet. And that's why a lot of folks are not aware of this program. And so we have work to do, and that's what these partnerships are all about. Roseanne, thank you for the opportunity to highlight one of those partnerships here. We have 110 community-based, as our secretary noted, 110 community-based organizations we partner with up and down the state, reaching out, knocking on doors, encouraging people, communities large and small, to fill out an application. If they can't fill out the application because of language barriers or because of other barriers of understanding or just the capacity of patience, because these are long federal applications that are combined with state and local rules and regulations, we have teams of people now that are helping in that process as well. Over $1 billion now has been requested, $1.02 billion as of this morning has been requested under this program. We have over 108,000, just shy of 109,000 applications, and we're encouraging others that may not be aware of it or may need a little bit of a push to take advantage of this program. And here's why. After September 30th, the likelihood that we're going to extend an eviction moratorium is very modest. We were able to extend it beyond June 30th, and we talked a moment ago about the stress because she was under that June 30th timeline and literally got in on June 30th and didn't know that the state was able to extend that moratorium, but was under the assumption it was not going to go, as was her landlord. But September 30th, we were able to extend it, but the likelihood of moving beyond that diminishes every day, particularly as the economy comes roaring back, as it has in this state, but not for everybody. So we're here outreaching. We're here to remind people of the power and potency of this program. And for those that do have access to tools and technology, housingiskey.com. Housingiskey.com. We now have a much better website than we did a few months ago, much more culturally competent in language. We have reduced the paperwork and time to fill out applications, and we built more robust partnerships with community-based organizations all up and down the state. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your leadership here in Bell Gardens. Thank you for everything you've done in partnership with your Recreation Department to have a multi-use center like this operating on all cylinders. We were with young kids in a summer enrichment program behind all of you a moment ago. You see the kids outside running around in a safe environment. You've done amazing work here in terms of testing and outreach on vaccinations, and of course here now filling out applications. This is what it's all about, connecting dots and bringing people together. So we wanted to highlight this critical program, and we want to encourage folks that may be on the fence or not believe it is real. 100% your back rent paid off going back to April of last year, not this year, and we'll pay your rent going forward through September 30th of this year and help with an additional $2 billion support of water and electric and internet bills, all utility bills as well. So that's why we're here, to promote that program. And we're also here mindful in closing that this Delta variant, which we were able to sequence genomes last week, and we announced last Friday that 43% of all the sequenced genomes are the Delta variant. This Friday, we'll update those numbers. You're seeing all across this country, and as I noted, around the rest of the world, the Delta variant becoming the dominant variant. Much more easily transmitted and much more impactful, particularly those who haven't been vaccinated. Those that are in the hospitals, those that have died, overwhelmingly are people that have not been vaccinated. I cannot impress upon you more the power of getting vaccinated. If we want to extinguish this pandemic, this disease, we've got to get vaccinated. Period, full stop. You're seeing again around the rest of the world. Read the headlines in Indonesia right now. Read the headlines in Portugal right now. Read the headlines in the United States of America right now. We have got to do more. And so this state is not just doubling down, we're quadrupling down in terms of our targeted and strategic and surgical outreach. GOTV, Get Out the Vax programs, Vax to School strategies, community-based organizations also knocking on doors, reaching out where people are, more and more trusted, real trusted messengers, not elected officials, doctors, members of the community, giving people the tools of information and knowledge. So I just encourage people as well, take advantage of this program, take advantage of free vaccinations regardless of your immigration status. Final words, the program we're promoting here today is available to all California residents regardless of status as well. Happy to answer questions.
Governor, you just answered my question. I was going to ask about immigration status. My name is Cecilia Bogran. I'm with Univision. What other requirements are there? Can you go through them and the final date to apply?
Yeah, well, when you have your secretary here, I'm going to take advantage of having her answer that.
Yes, so again, a very important point that the governor made, right, that this program is available to all California residents regardless of immigration status. We are accepting applications on an ongoing basis. The eviction protections are in place through September the 30th, and so it is our goal that everyone that needs this assistance submits an application now. As the governor mentioned, the website is housingiskey.com. We also have a toll-free number where we have operators in different languages that can assist with the application process, and that number is 833-430-2122. And so again, apply now. We have the resources. We have the $5.2 billion. The state's program is, currently in terms of total requests, we just surpassed the $1 billion mark, but we know that there's still much more need.
And I want to just build a few additional points. In the latest iteration of this program, we also provided additional protections, and this is important for folks that are no longer in their homes but still owe their landlords money. We now have the ability, if you've vacated the premise, to be able to pay off that debt to your landlord. We also have a judicial process that will be in place post-September 30th to help folks with their credit rating and to help through the process of adjudicating claims. So there were additional protections that are provided with this latest round and latest support of resources, language that legislature, to their credit, advanced. And I want to just thank legislative leaders for all their hard work on this program as well.
Governor Newsom, Salvador Duran with the Univision Network. Two questions. The first one is, somebody that's been struggling to pay their rent and are at a point where they won't be able to make it next month and the following month, can they still apply? And question number two is, $11 billion is a lot of money. Why do we still have a homeless problem?
Well, we haven't implemented the strategies and plans, meaning we haven't appropriated the dollars yet. This Thursday, I expect to receive a bill that will provide $12 billion for investments to address the issues of homelessness, its root causes, not just strategies to address situationally the challenges of homelessness. There's no greater dot to connect, however, than what we're promoting here today. If we see mass evictions, we've then seen something we will have seen something we've never experienced in our lifetime, and that's number of people on the streets and sidewalks that will overwhelm. That's why this program's so important, and why people, to your question, that are struggling now, that have been impacted by this pandemic, are eligible. Even if they've been able to barely pay their rent, but are struggling right now, through September 30th, if they can demonstrate direct impact from this disease, then they're eligible for support. We don't want to see people game that system. We don't want to see the abuse and fraud. That's why it's a laborious process in terms of the application. We're mindful of that, but we are here encouraging folks to take advantage and just learn more about their circumstances, and they have nothing to lose by checking in to see if they are eligible under those circumstances.
Governor Newsom, Alina Abovian with KTLA-5. My question is regarding what happens after the rent relief expires. What is your plan for affordable housing?
Well, we have a very comprehensive strategy on housing at all income levels. Let me be specific to the last question and then extend it more broadly. We have a $12 billion housing and homeless strategy specifically focused on those most vulnerable and most in need in the state. $2.2 billion of the $12 billion is for behavioral health housing. It's the largest investment since we started to dismantle that system in the 1960s and 70s here in the state. We're providing $6 billion of the $12 billion for a program called Home Key. You may recall that last year the state did something unprecedented in U.S. history. We were able to procure and put into escrow in 5.5 months over 6,000 affordable permanent housing units to make them available in just a 5.5, 6 month process, to make 6,000 housing units permanently available to formerly homeless individuals. That program was predominantly federally funded, was shy of $900 million. The budget includes $6 billion to build off components of that program and expand additional components for not just affordable housing, but subsidized housing for tens of thousands of additional Californians. So you can use numerical frame to hold us accountable. We attached to that $6 billion appropriation that I'll sign on Thursday, 42,000 housing units. So I'm being very specific in responding to your question about what our plan is, where the resources are, and how we mean business. In the state's history, the largest investment we have ever made on homelessness is $950 million, and we did that a year ago. This is a $12 billion, 2 to 3 year investment. It's unprecedented. We have strategies, plans, and we have the political will to do things this state has never done in the past. That's just one component of the housing package. There are billions of dollars of additional supports to jumpstart housing that's been approved, but it's looking for tax credits and financing, as well as focusing on streamlining housing development up and down the state of California. I've signed over a dozen CEQA reform bills. We have done a lot on ADUs. We focus on density around transit corridors. We still have a lot more work to do on accountability at the local level. And as you know well, I was a particularly unpopular governor suing one of our cities 2 years ago because they weren't producing housing and they were abdicating responsibility as it relates to their own stated goals. to develop housing at all income levels. Workforce housing, medium income housing, as well as housing that's market rate, all part of this portfolio and plan. We'll highlight all of that on Thursday as well.
Governor, Rachel Brown with ABC7. Just wanted to know if you could quickly take me through the timeline. How quickly can a renter or a landlord, from the time they apply online or call, expect to receive the funding?
Have you guys gotten your money yet? You're working on it. All right. No, so all right. So this is good, right? Full transparency. Let's talk, Lord.
Yes, the goal that we have is to be able, from the moment the application is submitted and reviewed, to be able to disperse dollars within 30 days. That is the goal that we're working towards. AB 832 enabled us to make a number of significant changes to the program, to simplify the program, to get to 100%, and then also, of course, to extend the eviction protections. And, one note that is very important that was shared with regard to the importance of this program to those households most impacted. What we are seeing in terms of the households that are applying for this program, 84% of all households are making below 50% of AMI. So we know that those low-income households that lost their jobs, that lost, that were impacted by the pandemic, that were unable to meet their rent, are benefiting from the program, and it is our goal to ensure that the disbursement, the rental and utility arrears are processed in a timely manner. We are now at about $159 million dispersed. This is doubling from when AB 832 was signed, and so we anticipate that this pace will continue to pick up. I will share that today we launched a public dashboard that will enable us to have transparency and accountability in terms of how we're managing the program. So if you go to Housing is Key, you'll also be able to access the public dashboard that shows the number of applications coming in, the total amount requested, the total amount of households that have been served, and the total dollar amount dispersed at the state level for the state program, but also at the county level.
30 days from submission or 30 days from approval?
Our goal is 30 days from submission. Now, it is really important. I think one of the comments that was made earlier today in terms of the experience, we encourage tenants to work with their landlords, because when we see that the tenant and the landlord working together, it really facilitates the process, because there is documentation that has to be submitted, right? We built in a number of controls and integrity measures into the program early on, and what makes this process move more quickly is complete application and working together with your landlord. In the event that the tenant cannot get the landlord to participate, the tenant can apply for the program on their own. So that was another significant change of AB 832, that tenants can apply directly to the program, landlords can apply directly to the program, and they're both eligible for 100% of rental arrears back to April 1st of 2020. Great.
That's the goal, but let me just highlight this. This is stubborn. It's a very good question, because some people have paperwork, some people don't have paperwork, some people have a lot of interesting rental arrangements. Some people have rental arrangements that aren't codified in legal documents. Some people have rental arrangements with their friends or family members, and there are sharing agreements. So there's a lot of complexities here. Sometimes you have landlords that are compliant. Sometimes they're absolutely reticent to engage. We also have done something that I failed to mention that is important as well. Some people took advantage of this program when it didn't provide 100%. It's 25 or 80%, depending on your status. We are automatically topping that off. You don't have to come back and reapply. We're taking care of everybody that went in that other program, previous program, and providing 100% pursuant to this program. Forgive me.
Hey, Governor, Cara Finstrom with KCBS. Last question for you.
Oh, thanks.
Could you just address a little bit from the landlord perspective? We're talking a lot about the renters, but the help needed by landlords as well, and the impact this should have going from 80 to 100%.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the landlords are the recipients of all these dollars. So there's no greater beneficiary than the landlords themselves. And let me just acknowledge the obvious. This notion that every landlord's greedy and some corporate landlord is nonsense. Vast majority of landlords in this community are small landlords that are paying their own mortgages. And they put everything on the line. They leveraged everything for that home, that dream, and the opportunity to generate a little bit of income. And they're struggling as well with the tenants. And so we're mindful of that, and that's why this program is topping off at 100%. So we want to help the small landlords, we want to help larger landlords as well. We want to see more housing production in the state. We want to see more rental opportunities in the state. We have a supply demand. We have an Econ 101 problem. Supply, demand imbalance, not that complicated. And as a consequence, we want to encourage more people to take risks and invest in housing and to invest in rental housing as well. And so that's what this program's about. And we're mindful of the needs of renters as well as, you note, landlords. With that, we're grateful for this opportunity. Thank you to my two superstars for sharing their story. And one's missing. I don't know if that's a good sign or bad sign. But and thank you to the mayor. Mr. Mayor, thank you for all your hard work. Roseanne, thank you so much for all your incredible work here. And to our wonderful secretary, thank you all very, very much.